Hey everyone, GXBL here with a brand new movie review talking about Mortal Kombat. That's right, the latest Mortal Kombat movie that I saw with my old man, that is my own father, on the HBO Max. It could have worked that way better, but at least it's miles better than the likes of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, right? Then again, I love that movie for being it's so bad it's good. This one here, I say it's very weak and in terms of storytelling, the script, dialogue, all that stuff. But I will give you incomplete details on as to why. Let's start off with the storytelling, which is something that, like, it's not inherently terrible at all. It's not bad. I see the direction they were going for. It's being more as a setup for the tournament, which the tournament will be treated as a sequel movie, and yet here it's being more treated like an origin story for some characters and trying to get to know them. Especially us fans, we know these characters such as, like, of course, Sonya Blade, Jackson Briggs, Liu Kang, Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. You know those characters, right? But we also get to be introduced, like, characters that we should not have seen that earlier, which is the likes of Melina and also Cabal in a certain extent. But I can see why they put him in here, but I really think they should have put Melina in the sequel because we don't see Katana. Melina is Katana's half-blood sister/clone, so having her being introduced early on, and spoiler alert, she got off. She's one of my favorite characters, guys. I really need to say this right now, okay? That's I think they should have given her a little bit more time to have some sort of build up or development, whatever it is. I just think they kind of rushed the Melina's character and be treated more as a goon. One of the other characters that were indeed treated more like a goon, which is pretty fine if you ask me when it comes to Reptile, because Reptile, let's be real here, Reptile works way better as a goon than as an actual character, because we don't get to see that much or hear that much dialogue when it comes to the games, right? Of course, he will say maybe some words here and there, but he is like a monster for the most part. So Reptile works good here. I just think it kind of stinks, like, when it comes to being a fan, I just want to see Reptile in his ninja variation for the most part than his monster form. But hey, what can you do? It works in anyways. But other than that, though, is that, like, we do get to be introduced by the characters. We do get to see everything what makes Mortal Kombat. In terms of lore, you get the Earth realm, Outworld, and of course when it comes to the Nether realms, right? And I think it's pretty nice how they establish everything, and especially you get to see some notable stuff here and there, where I wouldn't call it like Easter eggs, because you do get to notice them right off the bat. Like, you get to see Katana's fan, and you do get to see, like, Shao Kahn's big statue. So there was a lot of stuff in there that I did really like seeing when it comes to establishing Mortal Kombat's lore. So they basically nailed that, and especially when it comes to Scorpion's and Sub-Zero's backstories. But they didn't have to go with the whole, like, with the Mortal Kombat 2009's iteration when it comes to, like, Quan Chi pretending to be Sub-Zero, and that way he can get to, like, patrol Hanzo to become an Scorpion, who was somehow wasn't inherently evil per se, but he did get manipulated. So there was none of that here. They did flesh out these two specific characters, such as Bi-Han, Sub-Zero, and also Hanzo, Scorpion. So they worked out pretty well in terms of execution and writing. I just really think they need to work out way better when it comes to certain characters, such as the likes of Cole Young, who is actually one of the biggest gripes I have when it comes to the movie. And I don't think I hate him, and I don't think he was that inherently terrible or bad of a character. I think he's mostly the lines of plain, basic, boring. Like, he's just, I would put it like this. He's the chosen one, related to Scorpion. He has a wife and kids, and he's a fighter. Okay, then with all that's well said and do, what's more to him though? I'm not kidding. He doesn't have that much of a personality. He does come up as somewhat maybe an average Joe, but I cannot even like get invested in him when it comes to being a character. He is the main protagonist. While Liu Kang isn't at all, and usually Liu Kang is being treated as a main protagonist when it comes to both the video games and some previous Mortal Kombat movies. But anyways, yeah, Cole Young, while I can somewhat understand why they did this, but at the same time I think I don't. It's somewhat kind of a gray area on why they came up with a brand new character. I just think they should have just thrown in Johnny Cage and just have Liu Kang be the main character and be done with it, be the main protagonist. But if not, then why not just introduce a character that some fans may know of while other audiences don't know of? Like, why not Draven from Mortal Kombat Armageddon? I think it would have worked out way better in terms of like writing a brand new story if they were gonna go with this route, especially being a setup. Remember, this is a setup / origin movie for the most part, while not being a tournament story at all. So that's going to be treated like a sequel than being presented as the first movie. Okay, so I'm not too sure if part 3 will be all about like it's going to be like a war, so it seems kind of contrived in a sense. It really is, to me at least, and especially when it comes to the dragon marks. I need to get this out of the way. The whole dragon marks thing does not work with me at all. It is the most contrived, most artificial thing to come up with just to have some sort of excuse on why these characters are being put together. I just think they should have just gone with the route on how the old Mortal Kombat movie did it, and especially Mortal Kombat 2009. These characters don't need dragon marks, okay? To me, the whole dragon mark thing only works when it comes to the likes of the Shaolin monks and even Outworld / Netherrealm, because we see those dragon marks being presented there while not being presented as some sort of tattoo or birthmark. Okay, you catch my drift, because it's weird that like once you kill your opponents, you get their dragon marks. So I find that very odd and again contrived. And the other thing I do need to say is that like Kano did pretty quickly. It made me enjoy the movie a lot than I anticipated. I've been hearing that people like critics saying that Kano was basically holding up the movie, and you know what, they were not wrong at all. Like this actor, he has the charisma, he was delivering the lines, and despite that his script was kind of poor, but hey, what can you do? Oh, but that's another thing there. Yeah, the dialogue and the acting for the most part is not that good at all. It's flat, weak, poor. They could have done way better. It looks like the actors are somewhat having a good time, but it looks like they're taking it a little bit too seriously or something like that. If that makes any sense, I just think they could have like added some sort of oomph, some sort of pizzazz, something that sticks out, I will say this though, when it comes to being a fan, seeing how they established the lore, seeing how the fights and choreography were presented, and seeing the special effects, I'm not gonna lie, pretty spot on. I'm sure the special effects were pretty iffy and jarring in some places, but I gotta admit though, it holds up in its own merit, if you ask me. So yeah, that's very damn awesome, especially seeing fatalities and seeing how the action can be pretty visually pleasing to see. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I needed and have to say. So Yeah, the movie is alright. It's a-okay. It's decent at its finest. What do you guys honestly think about it? Did you like it? Love it? Dislike it? Hate it? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Jigs VL signing off right now. Later.